What's up guys? So today I'm going to show you how we transformed our cabinets in only about a week. We painted all of the cabinets, they're hung up, the knobs are on, and it looks amazing. So if you are interested on how we transformed it for not very much, keep on watching. So I have my bag of supplies here that I used. The very first thing we did was I took just like masking tape and I wrote a number on each cabinet. So on the inside of the cabinet I wrote like 1T for one top, like the top cabinets. And then on the inside of the cabinet I put the same number and letter combo so that when we took the cabinets off they would match up right, and then we wouldn't have to do this like big puzzle sort of thing of figuring out where the cabinets went. So that worked out really well. And then I had Brandon take all the cabinets off and we set them up on sawhorses downstairs so that if any paint were to drip, it could drip off of them. And the basement's unfinished, so I got paint all over the floor and it didn't really matter. So once those were all off, I just took a big bucket of hot water and put a bunch of Dawn dishwashing liquid and like a scrubby pad, and I scrubbed down all the cabinets. I didn't want to sand anything because the cabinets have a lot of like little grooves, and I just figured I didn't want to mess that up. And we were going to strip them anyway of the gloss, but I wanted to make sure they were good and clean and all the grease and stuff, especially above the stove, oven and everything, they were really nasty. So I took a scrub brush to all of them just to make sure they were nice and clean. And then I took this Clean Strip Premium Stripper. It says strips paint, epoxy, and polyurethane from wood, metal, and masonry. That's what it looks like. And I just took this on an old rag, and I just wiped all of the cabinets down really good. And I think I did 2 passes of that, and you're supposed to let it dry for like 6 hours. And most of these things I did at night, and then I would just let it dry overnight and then start again the next day. That way I wasn't like, because I get really impatient, and if I painted it in the middle of the day, I would go back like an hour later and try to do it again, and it would mess everything up. So I did most of it at night and then just let it dry overnight and then did the next coat in the morning. Okay, so after the cabinets were all cleaned and stripped of the gloss that was on there, I had to fill in some of the holes on the cabinets with this wood filler. The old knobs that were on the cabinets were handles. So they had 2 holes to hold them on there, and I just wanted like pull knobs. Does that make any sense? I just wanted knobs that are like circular, and I'll show you footage of those. So I needed to fill that top hole so that when I painted over it you wouldn't be able to tell that there was a hole there. So I just used this Elmer's Carpenter's wood filler. I don't know if you can see that. So I just used this and then like one of those putty knives and filled the top hole, and it worked really well. So I just like let that set, and then I took just a random piece of sandpaper I had lying around and kind of scuffed up the top of them so that you really wouldn't be able to tell that there was anything there. And then after that was all done, it was finally time to paint. I was so excited to paint, and I used this Rust-Oleum chalked ultra matte paint in linen white. It's just chalk paint. I've used this for a million projects. I used this same stuff to paint the dressers in both bedrooms that are white. I used this for, they used to be like really dark wood. So I love this stuff, and I love chalk painting anything I can get my hands on. So I ended up doing 4 coats on the cabinets, and it's a long story because I knew I would have to do at least 2. So I did 1, I let it dry overnight, I did another coat, and they looked really good. Some cabinets had like a couple streaks, and instead of just painting 1 or 2 and then forgetting and whatever, I went ahead and painted all of them. And then some, I'll insert a clip, but some of them had these like yellow, orange looking spots that just kept showing up, and no matter how much paint I put on, I could not get them to go away. I couldn't get them to cover. And I did a little bit of research, and I guess it's pretty common when you paint cabinets. And what they suggested was to put like a clear coat on there, like a sealer, and then do a coat of your paint over top, and that would cover it. So I went in with the sealer that I planned on using anyway for like the top coat of the cabinets. It's this Minwax fast drying polyurethane sealer in clear satin. So I put a coat of this on all of the cabinets and then another coat of white on all of the cabinets and then another coat of this. So I think if I would have known that sooner, I would have done one coat, maybe two on the cabinets, a coat of this, and then done the white. I don't think it really needed 4 coats. It just needed those spots covered up. So learn from my mistakes. Don't put 4 coats of paint on your cabinets if they don't need it. So I followed the same exact steps with the parts in the kitchen that needed painted. There was a couple of like sides of counters and like little strips that were in between cabinets that needed painted. Now I didn't paint the inside of the cabinets. I never planned on painting the inside of the cabinets because I was like, oh, these will be, you can't even see them when the cabinets are closed, so who cares? What I should have done was just painted the outside rims and everything, because when the cabinets are closed, you can still see some of the cracks and everything. It's not that noticeable, but it bothers me knowing that I can see like the old wood that was there. So once the cabinets were up, we realized that. So I had to go back with a smaller brush and just kind of paint where you could see when the cabinets were closed. Which was annoying and scary because I didn't want to get new paint on the cabinets that were already done. But overall, I think it went really well. I love how it turned out. I think it looks so good. It's so much brighter and more open and airy, and it looks so good with the new floors. I will be doing a whole video on like the whole house tour again when the new floors are all done and the cabinets and everything. I'll do a whole tour again. But for now, I just wanted to show you how we did just the cabinets because I figured some people might want to try it too. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye.